he just says this like in a very robotic state, like, I want her, I have her, gotta have her, I want her, I want her, gotta have her. Hey guys, welcome back. I was originally going to talk about a different topic, but I got an Amber Alert on my phone, and I wanted to kind of talk about that. And it just kind of made me sad because I know we get these Amber Alerts all the time, and it's just a constant reminder of how diligent and alert we have to be with our children, and how things can happen and change your life in literally a matter of minutes. Since becoming a parent, it's been hard to kind of breathe easy, sleep easy when your kids are not with you. For example, both of us, my husband and I, have had like terrible, horrendous nightmares about our children being abducted. Like when my daughter was born, about 2.5 months after she was born, we were sleeping. All of a sudden, my husband screams like I never heard him scream before ever in the middle of the night. And then I woke up out of my sleep in a panic and saw the look of horror on his face. And immediately I'm thinking, somebody must have broken this house and they got us. Like, it's over. This is the end. And so when he came to, at the time I didn't realize he was sleeping until like a few seconds after that. So when he came to, waking up, scared himself out of his sleep. It turns out that he was having a nightmare that he was out with our daughter and he was just on a walk, and that a van pulled up beside him, and like 5 men jumped out of the van and they attacked him, and was some men were holding him down while some other men were attempting to grab our daughter out of his arms, and they were like literally ripping her out of his arms. And so when he screamed, it's because they had actually got her, and that was his scream of terror because they abducted our baby. And even more recently, I had a nightmare about being out with a group. We were in a group setting, and we were on some type of campus. I'm not sure where or what exactly we were doing there. And some of the friends apparently lived on the campus as well. And we were going to go on a group walk. And so my husband was there, both my children were there, like very, very really close friends to us were there. And so the girls were like, okay, well, we're going to walk as a group. We're going to go with you to change your clothes, and then we'll meet the guys back up. And yeah. So on our walk, we have to take kind of this, it's a underground tunnel, but like made into like a public pathway. It's really well lit. It's not like one of those like dingy things you would think of when you think of an underground tunnel pathway. And it's the way to get to where we needed to go to. So we were headed under there. So anyway, while we're under that, walking through, there is another like level of like walking, and there are a bunch of doors. And now I had assumed in the dream, of course, that these were service doors where, if workers need to come down and repair things or get things done, they'd use those doors. So anyway, there was a little boy standing outside the last door just before the end of the tunnel, and he looked really sad, like something wasn't right. And then all of a sudden I see an adult arm put their arm around the child and then like bring them into the door and close the door. Now the look that this child had given me had caused me like to have goosebumps all over. I knew something wasn't right. So I was on the phone calling 911. I had my daughter with me. I wasn't gonna go and try to just jump in and be superhero and jeopardize the safety of my child and myself, as well as the rest of the group of us. So I call the cops, I'm giving the information. In the meanwhile, because I'm kind of walking a little slower, my daughter and myself are a little bit trailed behind, a few feet behind the group. So anyway, moving along, call the cops. They said they'll send somebody right over. Okay, so we keep walking. There's this really nice royal blue sports car. I'm not into cars, so I don't know if it's like a Lamborghini, something, whatever, two-door sports car, royal blue with black. And in the dream, I knew, I'm sorry, it just keeps bringing tears. in the dream, I was very familiar with the car in terms of I knew what type of car it was. I knew that it was the highest trim level. It had the all blacked out rims, black tire, like no chrome. Like it was, I was into the car. Now in real life, that's, even in the dream life, I wasn't into car. I don't know. I knew about the car. Doesn't matter. So I look at the car and I'm like, oh wow, that's a really nice car as we're walking by. And so the window was cracked and it was a male driver in the seat. It was parked. And so we made eye contact and immediately he gave me the creep. So I gripped my daughter's hand tighter, kept walking. All of a sudden, not even a minute later, the guy that was in the car is running up to me and my daughter. So I, went to grab my daughter. I'm holding her. So he comes, he pulls one side of her arm. I'm holding her back, and he just says this like in a very robotic state, like, I want her, I have her, gotta have her, I want her, over and over and over. And so I'm screaming like for him to stop, get off. I'm like literally, so I have my daughter in this arm holding on to her. He's trying to tug her. I'm like clawing at his face, like pinching, like anything, punching, kicking him right in the, you know what, just going in. Nothing is stopping him. He has not stopped saying that chant. And just thinking about it just like creeps me out. So he wouldn't let go. Blood is dripping down his face. He's still saying the chant. He won't let go. The girls had heard a scream, so they ran back. They're attacking him. They're hitting him in the head with rocks and sticks and all kind of stuff. And this guy will not let go and will not stop saying it. And in that weird, like that just weird, creepy. And eventually I woke up out of my sleep, screamed out of my sleep, and my heart was beating so fast out of my chest that it felt like I was about to have a heart attack. Of course, I woke my husband up screaming, and it's just like, it's such a panic. And I don't know why we constantly have these, not constantly, but often enough to scare the crap out of you that, like we have to live in a society where that's a fear. Our subconscious never stops thinking about the safety of our children and, how they're going to turn out. I can never imagine having to send out an Amber Alert to look for my child. I never want to know what it feels like to lose a child. I would hope that my child doesn't lose me until a really old age. And they're super dependent on themselves, independent rather, super independent. I've met my grandchildren, if they're gonna have children, they've lived the full life. I've lived the full life, and it's time for me to go. I never want to leave them when they still need me. And so tying it back into with the postpartum, the type of postpartum depression that I have, because if you didn't know, there are different types. I have the type where I feel like I'm not good enough for my children, and that like I always need to be doing better, and that it's just not good enough. And so it would pain me to have to leave them here without a mom, or they're trapped in some closet or room being trafficked or whatever the case may be. And I don't know if it's a combination of the two together with the depression, and then the being scared of everything that's going on in this world. But I do know that it's a real fear of both of ours, my husband and myself. And we are always like hyper vigilant about our surroundings, trying to keep safe, keep watch. And, I never had as much anxiety levels ever as I do right now in life as a parent, since becoming a parent. And we found out that that's likely to never change. You're going to worry about your children for the rest of your life, their life. It's just something that's in us. And so have you guys have any stories that you'd like to share about traumatizing moments when it comes to relation of being abducted or kidnapped? Do you have any traumatizing stories of your own personally that you've gone through? Just share any feedback that you have, and let's talk about it. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to my channel. like, comment, share this video with everyone. Thank you so much for your support. See you in the next video.